New events are being added to the Olympic program, but not everyone is excited about these changes. I'm going to share with you what events are being added where and how this impacts the sport of swimming and sports in general, and most importantly, why some people are upset about these new implementations. Now, if you're not following swimming, there are a number of events already ranging from the hundreds of stroke to the 200s of stroke, the 200 individual medley, the 400 individual medley, the relays, the 1500. There are already so many events in swimming, more than any other sport, giving athletes the opportunity to medal, including the great Michael Phelps, who won an unprecedented 8 Olympic gold medals in a single games. He's also won across 5 Olympic games, 28 Olympic medals, and so many other world championship medals. So does swimming really need more swimming events? Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. But first, let's take a time lapse back into the sport of swimming. In 1896, the first swimming Olympics. It was just 4 events: the 100-meter freestyle, the 500-meter freestyle, the 1200-meter freestyle, and the 100-meter freestyle for sailors. This was only open to Greek Royal Navy sailors, and this happened in the open water. By 1912, women made their first appearance in the Olympic Games in swimming. Fast forward all the way to 1988, and this is where the 50-meter freestyle was added. A lot of people think one length of the pool would determine who is the fastest swimmer in the world, but this was added in 1988. Fast forward to 2008, we added open water to the Olympics. That's the 10K for the women and the men. Fast forward all the way up to the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo. This was just a few years ago, and they added the mixed medley relay. So 2 guys, 2 girls, backstroke, breaststroke, butterfly, freestyle. And they added the women's 1500-meter freestyle and the men's 800-meter freestyle. Pretty ridiculous that we had differences between men and women all the way until 2021 to see it at the Tokyo Games. And now it's official. In 2028, there will be the 50s of stroke: 50 butterfly, 50 backstroke, and 50 breaststroke for men and for women. Here's the announcement.
The Executive Board approved the addition of the 50-meter events in backstroke, butterfly, and breaststroke. You may remember we already have the 50-meter freestyle events.
That's right, the 50s of stroke have officially been added to the Olympic lineup in LA 2028.
I know this may sound great, but some people are pissed off about this, including some snarky comments by the great Michael Phelps. So let's go in and give you a few details as to why this is a really good move, but also why this might be a terrible move for swimming and sports in general. So first of all, this is going to give increased opportunities to athletes. Now we're gonna have more specialization. Sprint Revolution, shout out. All of these people who are promoting fast swimming and sprinting and really maximizing human potential are going to benefit, because if you're a true bred sprinter and maybe you're not able to last for a full minute, 100 meters, 200 meters, whatever, now you have a place where you can truly specialize. If you think about track and field, they already have the 100-meter dash. It's an Olympic event. It literally takes less than 10 seconds. In swimming, the closest equivalent we have that is the 50-meter freestyle. So you might argue, well, we already have the 50 free, but in swimming, there are multiple competitive strokes, and this allows for more specialization, which if you're a swimming fan, this should be great because you'll get to see more competitive swimming across all the different strokes and distances. The second reason this is a good thing, because it really just extends the career of our Olympic heroes, of superstars, whether it's Adam Peaty saying that he's gonna make a comeback, or other top athletes who could actually just stay in the sport of swimming longer, because theoretically you could be at your peak from a power and production perspective in shorter events where your body might not be able to handle the training for a longer event. So we're gonna see athletes staying in the sport, especially if they're dominant, for a longer period of time. And it's also more fun to train and compete as an athlete for these shorter distances as compared to something like the 400 IM or the 1500 meter freestyle. Again, let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. And then the third reason is the extended or the enhanced experience for the fans. So if you're in the stands and you're watching a 50-meter race, it's a lot more adrenaline. You can hear a pin drop before the race goes up. There's more hype, there's more action. It's easier to get people in and out, like the walkouts. All these different things make the theatrical performance of swimming that much better when it's a shorter race. Another thing I want to touch on that's good in my second point about extending the career of swimmers, now because the 50s of stroke are an Olympic event, now national governing bodies will actually pay attention to athletes who perform. And what I mean by that is, before, if you were the fastest swimmer in the world in the 50-meter breaststroke, but you weren't very competitive in the 100, your national team, let's say you live in the United States of America, they won't even give you any funding. You won't even be on the national team, despite being the fastest swimmer in the world in a specific stroke. So that sounds kind of ridiculous, but because before it wasn't an Olympic event, you couldn't be on your national team, you wouldn't receive funding, and that really doesn't make sense. But now, because the event is going to be in the Olympics, all these national governing bodies and their budgets are actually going to be allocated, and they're gonna have to increase the budget, which could be a good and a bad thing. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. So speaking of the bad things, the number one is dilution of prestige. We see the snarky comment from Michael Phelps and other top athletes and coaches saying that it really dilutes the value of being an Olympic champion. Do I think anyone's going to master all the 50s of stroke and the 100s and beyond relays and break Michael Phelps' incredible 8 gold medal run? I don't really think so. That's going to be pretty difficult. If anything, it might be harder to do that with this level of specialization, and the races are that much shorter. I mean, think about it. A 50 is less than 30 seconds. So when you think about it from that perspective, do we see a dilution of performance? No, if anything, it's going to be more competitive. But the fact that there are so many medals in swimming already, and we're just going to add even more, it's like, what does it even mean to be an Olympic gold medalist in swimming? It's like, oh, what Olympics? What event? What, like, there's so many different variables that really dilute the fact that you can win a medal in like 30 different events. Whereas in other sports, you really got one shot. I mean, just think about like the basketball team, right? Yes, everyone on the team gets a medal. It's a team performance, but you have to go through so many rounds of competition. And at the end of the day, there's only one champion, one Olympic gold medalist, either individually or as a team. And these athletes are all putting in tons of work. So to think that now there are so many more events that you could win, maybe it dilutes the prestige of swimming in general. The other thing that could be bad about this is the logistics of having so many events. So you start to lose focus, and it's hard to even coordinate, okay, what event is going on now? If I'm an athlete and I'm competing, am I competing tomorrow? And then wait, I have the 100s and the 200s. So how do you even build a calendar that allows people to be accommodative? And if you want to just, okay, well, we'll just make the competition longer. These events are already too long. You know, the Olympics is 8 days. The Olympic trials in the US, I think it was 9 days or something. So the fact that these events and programs are spread over a week plus, and now you just added 3 more events for men and for women. I mean, next thing you know, we'll add the 200 medley relay, and now we have 4 new events. That one hasn't been added. But just think about all of these different events. It's a 10-day competition. It dilutes the performance of athletes who really need to focus, because maybe your main event is on day 1, and then your next event is on day 9, just because there are so many different events that are being contested, and it's hard to keep track of everything. And it's hard to televise. But going back to the enhanced fan experience, it's going to make more money. There's more attention to swimming. Swimming is one of the most popular sports at the Olympic Games. And so for that reason, that's fundamentally why they're doing this move, because it comes down to money. Money, 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 money. The third reason is the tradition of purity. So a lot of athletes and coaches might be against this because there's this purity of the sport. The 100-meter freestyle is the signature event in swimming for the last 100 years. And even until 1988, we didn't have a 50-meter freestyle. And so now I think the 50-meter freestyle is pretty well respected. But who's the fastest in the pool from one length to the other in the 50-meter butterfly, the 50-meter backstroke, and the 50-meter breaststroke? And up until this day, we have never done that at the Olympic Games. But in Los Angeles, 2028, we're going to see it happen. I want to know what you guys think down below in the comments. Are we going to see incredible performances? Is this a good idea? Should they take back their decision? Should they add more events like the 200 medley relay? Let me know what you think down below in the comments, and I'll see you over there. Happy swimming.